Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. I can't leave the Stellantis booth here at the Texas State Fair without talking about this truck. What am I talking about? The return of the Hemi. This is it. This is your 2026 Ram 1500. This particular one is one of my favorite trims. It is the Ram Rebel. But before we get into this full-size truck with some really great off-road capability, let's talk about what's going on here. So after the upset with Ram bringing the Hurricane engine, that twin turbo straight six engine to the Ram platform, people were up in arms. They were burning things down. They were running through the streets naked. It was a really crazy time in Detroit for Ram. But guess what? They wanted people to put their clothes back on, and they wanted it done quickly. So they did it with bringing the V8 back to the Ram 1500. Now, it's not so simple. The Ram 1500 with a V8 is going to cost you extra money. The only two trims where it's standard is going to be Limited and Longhorn. But we'll talk about pricing and the nitty gritty. Let's just be happy. Let's rejoice that the V8 is back to the Ram 1500. So what I want to find out is, with it being back, is this the V8 powered full-size truck you should be buying? Well, let's go ahead. Let's dive in and find out. Right off the bat, I love the color. I mean, it's just like a nice cherry red, and it makes me want to pop open a fresh bottle of Dr. Pepper and just chug it right now because I'm a little thirsty. At the front of the business, you get the redesigned appearance of the Ram 1500. So we got our all new LED headlights with our daytime running lamps. You do have on the Rebel trim the flat black that runs along the brow, some nice color match, and then working our way down, we do have LED fog lamps. You hear that? Nice steel front bumper, and you'll notice how they carve out this lower portion to help with approach angle. Now, as we come across that major size grille, redesigned just a couple years ago, it's got the Ram name all blacked out, forward-facing camera, full functionality up top. You got a smaller mail slot opening in the center that's functional, and then you have more functionality in the bottom portion. Now, especially with this being an off-road truck, you do have your powder-coated tow recovery hooks, and because it is a Rebel, an off-road version of the Ram 1500, you are also going to get skid plates underneath, which is great to protect the belly of this beast. Now, as we rise up, love the bulge of a hood. Look at the way it just kind of drops down a little bit there. You're gonna have your functional heat extractors on both sides, and then that big old bulge, what does it say? It says Ram 1500 Hemi, it's back, V8 power. Now, as we come around the bend, when you go Rebel, what's some other niceties that you get? This is what you get right here. Love that flat black wheel. Nice open spoke design there. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what is the size of this wheel? 18-inch wheel, 33-inch Wrangler Goodyear off-road tires. Look at the shielding. I mean, you could really get this thing down and dirty, and it's gonna take a beating. You zoom on in, Lori's gonna show you the Bilstein shock absorbers, the springs, everything specially tuned for the Ram Rebel. It's going to give you good wheel travel. But I love the nice clean style of the flat black wheel, especially with the raised white letter tires. You don't see that very often in the automotive industry anymore. Now, the next thing I want to show you, besides the flat black fender opening, there it is. That is the special badge for the Hemi powered Ram. It's actually a Ram head with the V8. Look at that. That thing is killer. Very smart. I tell you, Ram and Dodge have some of the best badges I've ever seen in my life. Now, on this Ram Rebel, you do have gloss black on the mirror caps, your turn signals built in to those mirror caps, and then gloss black on the door handles, flat black on the Ram badge, and then nicely painted black. Not many trucks can you get a two-tone, and I like the way that Ram does it by just painting the black portion and keeping everything the cherry red. I'm glad this isn't a bright red. That would remind me too much of a fire truck. This has a great look. Now you got that large 4-door crew cab style coming towards the bed. Same thing, the way they shape everything is to give you lots of wheel travel. And then what's really great, as we come around the back, you got your 4x4 badge, you got your LED lighting, we got the Ram name, and then as we drop our way down, you do have all your tow accessory hookup. Spare tire mounted high out of the way. And it's not just about getting the Hemi. You want to see what else you get? Dual outlet exhaust slash cut with the gloss black tips. Man, oh man, the V8 is gonna sing out of that one. And even the Rebel name looks killer. But it's nice to have that. We're gonna bring back the nice soft release. Look at that. On the driver's side, you do have a home power source, LED bed lighting, that track system where you could adjust where you have the tie downs. So what you do is you unscrew that and then you can slide it back and forth, and you got the bed liner. But why don't we go ahead? That's one thing to talk about this Ram Rebel on the outside. Let's pop the hood and see that Hemi. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hood struts. There it is, with a tasteful engine cover, the Hemi V8. Look at all the room around that beast. You're looking at a 5.7 liter Hemi V8, puts out 395 horsepower, 410 pound-feet of torque. It is bolted to an 8-speed TorqueFlite automatic transmission. Of course, because we got the V8, you also get that GT exhaust system that I had the privilege to show you out back. And you're also getting a 33-gallon fuel tank. Now, one thing to remember though, if you compare this to the standard output Hurricane engine, that engine has more horsepower, 420 horsepower, 469 pound-feet of torque. If you compare it to the high output, guess what? 540 horsepower and 521 pound-feet of torque. So for those that want the V8, you want the V8 rumble, you want the Hemi attitude, you want that linear power delivery, this may still be the right choice for you, but they will have the Hurricane options as well. But why don't we go ahead, let's close the hood and check out the interior of the return of the Hemi in this Rebel. All right, guys, we're inside this 2026 Ram Rebel 1500 with the Hemi back underneath the hood. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, how much? How much is it? Well, let me break it down for you real simple. The only two trims where you can get the Hemi V8 as a no-cost option is going to be Limited and Longhorn. Every other trim, Warlock, this Rebel, so on and so forth, you're going to have to pay the piper, as they say. Now, depending on what trim you go with, it could be anywhere from $1,200 extra up to $2,895 extra. So, like I said, they're bringing back the Hemi V8, but if you really want it, they're going to expect you to pay for it. But let's see what else you get at the end of the day when you go Ram Rebel. To the door panels, you get that amazing Ram truck treatment. The finishes are high-end, soft touch, nice decorative trim. The speaker grill covers of the Harman Kardon sound system looks fantastic. You got your Twinkie pocket there that has enough room for probably 4 deep-fried Twinkies on a stick here at the fair. And then down below, that's where you could go ahead and get 2 Krispy Kreme glaze burgers down there. And of course, 2 big bottles of sarsaparilla. Now going from the door panel to the dash, the soft touch, we are at the show, so I can't turn on the screen, but this does have the optional screen for the passenger. It's a 10.25-inch screen. I love the Ram Rebel badge. And then slide on in, you get that vertical portrait style infotainment system. It goes as large as 14 inches, depending on trim. Dual climate control. I like the way you got the Ram name up top and a 12 volt for a radar detector. Opens up just like that. You got believe it or not, some nice smoky gray black style there. It's all in the materials, and Ram's been doing this for years now. You got your rotary controller for your transmission. This is for that TorqueFlite 8-speed, and then you got the push button for your 4x4 system, hill descent control, lock the axles, start stop button. Down below, more connectivity than what they had at Radio Shack back in the day. USB-Cs, USB-As, aux jacks, even an HDMI, so you could watch TV on your screen there. Dual wireless chargers, dual cup holders. You could get a big, large wet bag, one of those soggy wet bags of boiled peanuts, and then you slide this open. This is where you could hide your cigarweed down there. Nobody wants to leave that sticking out. But the boiled peanuts, I remember, let me tell you a story. Every year that my dad and I used to go to the 12 Hours of Sebring when I was a kid, we would drive out there from Clearwater where we lived. And, it was like a 2-hour drive. We always, whenever we were in Avon Park, which is near Sebring, we'd always stop at this little fruit stand. And my dad, instead of buying oranges or strawberries like a normal person, he wanted a big wet bag of boiled peanuts. And I wouldn't eat them because when he brought the bag into the car, it smelled so bad, but he would basically put that big old wet sack of peanuts right there. Now, I love the soft touch. You can lock horns with the Ram. Stitching, open it up. Here's a nice little place where you could keep, I don't know, maybe just fill this up with peanut M&Ms, man. They don't melt in your hand or in your Ram. They melt in your mouth. Duh. And then if you're a sports fan, first of all, they got Easter eggs in here. So cool to see the Easter eggs of the different Rams over the years. Second of all, if you're a sports fan, you may never know when you're gonna run into one of your heroes from the football field, let's say, for example. So you can keep a football in there. And then as soon as you see somebody that you know that's famous, that you want them to sign your balls, you get your football out and they're going to sign your balls for you. And then you have it right there. So Tom Brady, he loves signing balls. So if you have more than one, if you got 2 balls, that's better. If you ever failed geometry, they got you taken care of here. So you got all your measurements all nicely done. And then the seats, the leather, the stitching. Look at this. Look at the way they did the Rebel embroidery on the side. Full electric assist for the passenger, full electric assist for the driver. This one does not have a panoramic sunroof or any sunroof. But why don't you come over here to the business center? I want to show you behind the wheel of this new Ram. All right, guys, inside this Ram Rebel with the Hemi, you do have your full power seat controls, easy to get to. Ooh, that lower lumbar feels good. Seats are nicely packed. I'm telling you right now, of the modern era, I don't know if any other truck brand, Ford, Chevy, GMC, that's done as much great work to the interior as Ram has. And I'm not saying that just because I'm sitting in a Ram. I believe it. Like, I remember back in the 90s when they started getting really creative with their center consoles and stuff. They really have changed the name of the game when it comes to truck interiors. Steering wheel, beautiful leather, perforated, nice crisscross style stitching. You got the Ram head there you can lock horns with, flat black on all the switch gear. It is a manual tilting and telescoping wheel. And then you do have that large 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. Unfortunately, at the show, I can't show you, but we will be getting one of these to drive and a head-up display, which also is a nice touch. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the back seat and see if your passengers are going to love this Ram Rebel as much as I do. All right, guys, backseat time, and this is just another thing. Trucks, I remember my dad had a freaking Ford Ranger, long bed. Growing up, it was his work truck. It had a bench seat, and that was about it. I don't even remember having air conditioning, but you really could spoil your passengers. Now, the back seats, they do lift up, which is nice, so you can get big, large objects back here. You got pockets. Put your fair churros. That's another thing. Maybe you come to the fair and you wind up winning one of those ridiculously large, like Tasmanian devils or Tweety birds, because you were able to take the sledgehammer thing and make the bell ring. Where are you going to put it? You can put it in here, because we all know that those toys that they give away at the fairs, they usually fall apart instantaneously. So it's good to put Tweety Bird back here. And you know it's like a Temu Tweety Bird. It's not the official Warner Brothers Tweety Bird. Now on the back of the command center, you have your cup holders. I love this trim. Very nicely done. Got a place for some Tootsie Rolls, 2 USB-Cs, 2 USB-As, home power source with your AC vents. Nice oak crap panel so I could kind of brace as we're going off-roading through the desert. And then pull this down. Nicely padded. You see what I'm saying? Like, look how Ram puts the stitching. If this was in a Chevy, it would just be plain Jane with 2 cup holders. And you got a power sliding rear cab window. And look at how they shape the roof so that the speakers, everybody gets music blasted in their ears. Now, I can't wait to take the V8 Ram for a spin. You know that. Don't be dumb. But we can't do it here because we're at the auto show at the Texas State Fair. So let's wrap it up so I could get home and take you for a ride in one of these. All right, guys, another great day here at the Ram booth at the Texas State Fair. Definitely got to thank Kimberly and the rest of the team getting us access to this Ram 1500 with the Hemi V8. Let me know what you think. Is this the full-size truck to get for model year 2026? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, then you're being part of the Raised Reds family. Got to give it up to Latte Lori. She is jonesing for one of these Krispy Kreme burgers. So we're going to satisfy her need for speed and also for fair food. So thank you, Latte Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.